Well, hey, Adam and Spider Dan, can you guys hear me?
I can.
That's
I
one.
can.
All right, both of you. Awesome. Well, cool. I'm ready a little bit early today. That's a change. So, how are you guys doing? You in the thick of the Christmas busyness yet?
Very much so.
Yeah. What is Christmas busyness? What form does that take for you, Dan?
Um, it's just a busy month. We've got my wife's birthday part, or not her party, but her birthday is next Friday.
Shut up.
Our anniversary
Seriously?
is, yeah,
Did
our
did?
anniversary is like 2 days after that.
Oh, wow.
My brother has an engagement party tomorrow that I'm trying to do a slideshow for.
Oh, man.
Uh, Plus my father-in-law's stuff going on this past week,
Yeah,
and
sure.
then Christmas. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's busy.
Yeah, and that's even apart from Christmas. Like Christmas, you mentioned Christmas, but all those other things aren't unique to Christmas.
Right.
So this must be
Mm,
normally a crazy time of year. Did you know that
yeah.
Holly's birthday is also in early December? We just celebrated hers on the 6th.
Oh, really? Happy birthday to her. I didn't know that.
Yeah, yeah, that's so
Hmm.
crazy. Huh. But man, yeah, and then our wedding anniversary is it's not in December, so it's not we're not quite as stacked as you are, but our wedding anniversary is January 5th every year. So that's kind of like our cool down after Christmas and New Year's is done. We have a nice
That's nice, actually.
quiet dinner out, you know. But man, you were in the thick of it. When you guys got married, did you count the cost and anticipate that, or was part of the decision like to have a Christmassy wedding? Some people like to have a Christmassy wedding with Christmas decorations up, or what was the thinking there?
There probably wasn't a lot of thinking there. I mean, it was just wanting to get married, and we had a very small ceremony, and it was about that time of year. We
Yeah,
thought, well, if we push it off to May, what's the point? Let's just get married now, and
yeah,
and all that kind of thing. It was a very small, intimate ceremony where we didn't really have a lot of bells and whistles and
yeah.
the grandiose of it. So, but it was very,
Nice,
very nice.
nice,
Yeah, so all that on
cool.
top of our shopping. Shopping's not done. Decorating is not done.
Oh my gosh, yeah, for sure. Oh my gosh. And Adam, how about you? What
Hmm.
are you in the thick of Christmas busyness or not really?
Yeah, quite similar. So I just got a lot of events on in December. So just had my 30-year high school reunion, which
Oh
is not something that happens
wow.
every year, but but for some reason they chose December for that.
Okay.
And then we had my work dinner, lots of like end of year like work dinner. So my work dinner, and then tonight's my wife's work dinner, and then what did we just go to? There was something we just went to recently. I can't even remember it all. And then, of course, we got church events. So we got our Christmas, tomorrow's Christmas hamper service where Linda's singing. And then the week after that, we're doing a big Christmas production,
Oh,
which
that's
I'm
right.
doing the video switching for. So I've got like 2 weeknights of rehearsal and then rehearsal on Saturday. And I think we're doing a show on Saturday and then Sunday morning. So
Wow. Yeah, that's an annual thing for you guys,
yeah,
right?
and work has been crazy lately as well. So.
Oh, really? But that's an annual thing, right? That your church does kind of like a big production.
Yeah, so some years it's just like carols, and other years we have like a full-on musical
Okay.
or like a drama.
Okay.
But yeah, this year it's just carols, but they still
Okay.
want lots and lots of rehearsals.
Sure. Yeah. Oh, that sounds like a great service. Oh man,
Mm.
I the worship pastor before me. So this is a long, long time ago. Had a background in music theater. And so for a
Mm.
while, our church was very much kind of similar. It was like every Christmas, there was like a big kind of production of some kind. And then there would be a summer musical as well, as kind of an outreach thing, just doing like Broadway
Mm.
musicals, to draw in folks
Well,
and get them on campus. And yeah, so I know what that. And of course, I grew up around like music and acting and stuff, and like December is like that is the time of year when stuff is going on, and so like for me, it kind of doesn't feel like Christmas unless I'm very busy and kind of stressed for at least a week or two.
And of course, for us, it is, it's the end of the year, it's the end of the school year, it's the end of the work year. I haven't had a holiday since like January last year, so feel like I'm crawling on my hands and knees towards the finishing line this time of year, just exhausted.
Oh, man. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, with the school year ending, I always forget that the school year there ends too. Then you get a nice long break, so that's cool. Hey, is that Francisco that just jumped in the chat? What username is that? I can't tell.
Maybe it is.
Hey.
Maybe it isn't. Well, you like to know.
Hey, Francisco.
Hey, Merry Christmas, guys.
Yeah, Merry Christmas. So, Francisco, I'll pass the same question to you. Are you in the thick of Christmas busyness yet? And if so, what form does that take for you?
Not too much. We put up our decorations. We did our usual go and drive around looking at Christmas lights. I guess the main thing I still have to do is wrap Christmas presents, which I really enjoy wrapping. So
Yeah.
that still has to be done. And then we're trying to establish a tradition of every week, the last night that we have the kids for that week, we'll light an Advent candle and read a devotion about the
cool.
Advent devotional.
Yeah, nice.
So we're trying to do that. But yeah, fortunately not super like in the busy. We're not really being busy or anything. Cool. I'm busy with other things that have nothing to do with Christmas, but
yeah, Dan was talking about having a bunch of stuff that was not related to Christmas that is making this season really crazy for him too.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I've got here. I should switch my camera setup just a second here. Okay, so you guys may not be watching. There's a delay anyway, so that can be kind of obnoxious. But for anybody who watches this later, I want to be sure and show my traditional hot chocolate that I made for myself. New this year, and you guys will see this a little bit if you watch once the delay catches up. But the trip that Holly and I took to the UK to celebrate our 20th anniversary back in March, which actually, will be 22 years this January. But there was this, I bought this cool mug.
That is very cool.
And that is not Game of Thrones licensed, but clearly is taking some vibes from Game of Thrones. And it's got a stainless steel kind of insert that you can, take out and wash and stuff. And so I've got my hot chocolate in there, my Andes mints, 2 of them crumbled up or broken up in the bottom, and then Cool Whip on top. No chocolate and caramel syrup this year. In fact, I've only done it once or twice in this season so far of having hot chocolate. I've been more in the mood for, I think, a little bit more of a creaminess, a little bit more vanilla-leaning type flavor, and so it doesn't look as fancy on the top because I don't have stuff drizzled, but it is extremely satisfying. So,
yummy.
Do you guys have any treats that you've either liquid or solid that you've started into or that you're looking forward to?
I always love the Reese's. Whenever the Reese's comes out with like a holiday shape, or for Christmas it's the Reese's trees. I don't know why I enjoy those so much, but I always do. So I like those.
My sister Corinne told me that that's the time of year when she likes Reese's peanut butter cups. She doesn't really eat them many other times of year. She likes them best Easter and Christmas because of that. And she explained to me, maybe this will give you some insight into what you're experiencing, but she explained to me that there's a higher ratio of peanut butter compared to the chocolate in those.
That makes sense.
And I bought a little bag myself to just kind of experience this anew. And and indeed, when you break them open or bite into them, it's pretty clear that there's a thinner layer of chocolate overall on the outside compared to the peanut butter inside.
Totally, yeah.
Good times. Dan, Adam, either of you guys, sweets and treats?
I don't really eat or drink seasonally. I just have what I like.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't really, and I think maybe it's cultural a little bit that we just don't have as many specific things at specific times of year as you guys do.
Okay.
Well, my grandmother always used to make the same, like it's like a sugar cookie. I don't know where the recipe originated from, but I associate them with her. As far as I'm concerned, she made the recipe. That's been like like my entire life. That's been our tradition. So
Nice.
hopefully, at some point, we'll be able to make those this month. Like I
Yeah.
said, finding time for anything is this year has been real impossible.
Yeah. Yeah. I would believe it based on what you've shared. Man, a good sugar cookie, man, like I don't go for the sugar cookie when it's just like out on a plate and you're at some, I don't know, potluck or some, I don't know, whatever event, and there's just a plate and it's got sugar cookies. I'm typically not going to go for it then. But if I know it's been made recently, even if it's from like a pre-made dough, but especially, if it's more homemade from scratch type thing, the sugar cookie should not be underestimated for its power. I'm looking forward to tomorrow baking some of, I call it my son's, but it's not his recipe. He just took a culinary class and he brought the recipe home from there. It's really simple. It's called cake mix cookies, and you just buy normal cake mix, but you just use it in a different way. And it makes these awesome tasting cookies. I'm not even like a cake guy per se. I normally don't go for cake. But like these cake mix cookies they're my favorite cookie in the world. Although I am going to make some chocolate chip tomorrow. My bake-a-thon is next weekend, but I'm doing some extra baking today and tomorrow because we've got a party for our worship ministry at our house tomorrow night that we're hosting. So I've been doing some extra baking for that. So it's getting pretty carby in this house right now. So what about, while we're on the topic of consumables, what about any meals? Like Adam, you said you guys don't eat seasonally, but I mean, what about like a special meal for actual Christmas itself? Is there anything?
Yeah, so Christmas Day is more of an exception to that. So yeah, we have the traditional kind of roast turkey and ham for lunch. And when we say, like, we don't have like a big whole turkey cooked in the oven like you guys do for your Thanksgiving.
Okay.
When we get roast turkey, it's like it's sliced.
Yeah.
You just buy like a turkey breast, and you just kind of slice it up, whack it in the microwave for a few minutes, and it's
Nice.
ready to go.
Nice.
I've heard people say that they don't like turkey because it's a flavourless meat, which I've always found fascinating because my perception has always been that turkey is the most flavourful meat that exists. And I'm wondering if that's partly because the way we eat it in Australia is more processed.
Huh.
But yeah, we'll have a few slices of hot turkey and maybe a few slices of like a proper ham on the bone type thing.
Oh, nice.
Baked potatoes and veggies and gravy.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't do the traditional thing here just because it's so hot. They go for like seafood or a barbecue, but
Okay.
yeah, our family we've always done the turkey thing.
Nice.
Because you can just warm it in the microwave. It's not like you have to have the oven on for ages or anything like that.
Okay.
And my parents always did the potatoes. We call them baked potatoes, but I guess they're really fried because they do them in an electric fry pan.
Oh.
With a bunch of vegetable oil. You cut the potatoes like in half, so there's a flat
Yep.
surface on one side.
Yep.
You whack them in there, just fry them up for a while, then turn them over, and man, they're good.
Are they like
Probably terribly unhealthy.
Are they like sliced discs, or are they still mostly
No,
whole?
so you would peel a potato and then just cut the potato in half,
Oh, okay. Interesting. Okay.
and then you cook the two halves.
Okay.
So like the bottom of it will be flat where you cut it, and the top will be kind of curvy.
Okay. Cool. Interesting. I'm gonna have to give that a try sometime. So you must not have the heat super high so that it has time to cook it all the way through. Interesting.
Yeah, I guess so.
Cool.
It's been a long time since I've actually done that myself.
Okay. I experimented this year. My genetic heritage is Danish, And my dad is more into kind of like passing on Danish traditions than me and my sisters are. I think because his parents are, let's see, I'm trying to remember if they were born in America or born in Scandinavia. I think they might have been born in Scandinavia, but I'm not sure. Anyway, but he's closer to fresh off the boat certainly than we are, and especially in the way he was raised. But there's these things called Ebelskivers that they're kind of in the pancake family in terms of the batter. They have some differences, some significant differences, but they're kind of in that family. And it's a special pan that has these kind of like divots in them that are about big enough to set a golf ball in, and it would rest in there halfway deep, and you take the batter and you fry it in this pan that has all these divots in it, and then halfway through you flip them over. It's a very delicate kind of procedure, and you fry them on both sides so that basically you have these fried batter balls that in the final product, and then you kind of dust them with powdered sugar. And the making the batter is like, it's too delicate a procedure for me. But my dad wanting to pass this on to us, and it being something that he grew up having, I think, around Christmas time. He gave us for 1 year for Christmas these Ebelskiver pans. Mine's just been sitting collecting dust. But I thought this year I'm going to experiment, and I'm going to have to meet my dad halfway, or he's going to have to meet me halfway, because I don't want to do the whole meticulous batter making thing. I'll take a just add water pancake mix, and I'll maybe put a little less water in it so it has a little bit more. It's a little less runny. And I'll see how that works, and I'll just put like I'll put some oil in each of these divots, so I can almost kind of on a tiny level have these deep fried pancake balls, basically, and they turned out awesome.
Cool.
But yeah, very bad for us, I'm sure, because there's a lot of oil involved in that that procedure. Well, is there any kind of like traditions, or either Christmas traditions, or like maybe something you're looking forward to doing while you have some vacation time? I don't know if all three of you guys are going to be able to have some time off. I think, Adam, you pretty predictably do, but I don't know about the other two.
So I get Christmas Day off and New Year's Day off.
Nice.
But, usually, I have time. Like, I could take time off, but I've already asked the one person that covers me to cover me several times throughout the year already. So what I decided to do was just take essentially 3-hour lunches each day for all of December to use up my PTO time.
Okay.
So I'll use up 2 hours of PTO each day, and then an hour for lunch. So I get 3 hours off.
Gotcha.
So that's nice, and
yeah,
that's something that's. I asked like a few years ago if that was okay to do, or if I'd have to find coverage to do something like that. And they're like, no, since you're there at the beginning and there at the end, that should be fine. So,
nice.
So doing that, traditions looking forward to. Well, it's one that me and Ashley started last year, was watching When Harry Met Sally, which is her favorite movie.
Yeah.
At least her favorite romantic comedy.
Uh-huh.
On New Year's, on New Year's Eve, because it's a New Year's Eve movie.
That's right.
So we're looking forward to doing that again. And we're gonna we're gonna do something else Christmas Day, because the kids won't be here Christmas Day. Oh, we're gonna play Super Mario RPG together.
Nice.
The re-release one that we got.
Oh, nice.
Jake riding the damn feet.
Dan or Adam?
It's going to be a bit. Yeah, it's going to be a bit of a different one for me this year, because this is, I think, going to be first year without any extended family at Christmas in my life.
Oh wow!
Oh wow!
My parents moved to Queensland a couple of years ago. They're actually planning to come back. They're going to do summer in Tasmania and then winter in Queensland.
Okay.
But yeah, last year we actually went up and had Christmas with them in Queensland. This year, with everything going on with insurance, trying to get a new car and all of that. That's not happening. And Linda's family are all in New South Wales, which is another state. So yeah, we don't have. Oh, the only family we've got around is my brother and his family. So I've been meaning to contact him and say, hey, do you want to actually get our families together at some point? Because he'll be probably doing Christmas Day stuff with his wife's family.
Okay.
But one of our friends who also don't really have any family around and suggested we do something together with our two families.
Cool.
So yeah, thought that might be interesting.
Nice. Yeah, we were supposed to. This would have been a year for us to go to Pennsylvania. I mean, not for Christmas. We used to alternate and be there for Christmas every year, but a few years back, or man, it's probably been more than a few now. Because I just left this in, Holly's court, but she, was the one that kind of came to me and said, I think I'd kind of prefer to be here at least for actual Christmas, even on the years that's like a Pennsylvania year, because she's just come to love the Christmas Eve service at our church and just kind of the substance of it and the other elements of it. And so, but this would have been a year where we would have like immediately after Christmas gone out to Pennsylvania. But of course, because Holly lost the job that she had so much seniority in last March, she's now bottom of the totem pole, doesn't have all that accrued paid time off and stuff. So we don't have near as much time for her to be off this year. But it's so we don't get to see her family. But she still has, just because of the way the holiday is landing, she still gets a 4-day weekend over Christmas, and then a 3-day weekend the next weekend, because of New Year's Eve. A bit like your situation, maybe, Francisco. But yeah, it's largely just going to be our little family kind of Christmas this year too. Dan, how about you?
We usually just try to split up the two, Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, between our families.
Mm-hmm.
As far as like traditions go, I think that we watch like the same movies every year. My wife's favorite is Home Alone, so I've already seen that like a million times this Christmas alone.
Yep, my boys have really come to like that, like every Christmas.
My favorite Christmas movie is and this is like I grew up watching this as a kid because my grandparents would put it on, and my parents liked it too. It was 1951, I think it was, the British version of A Christmas Carol with Alistair Sim.
Is that the black and white one?
Yeah.
Wow, old
like
school.
A bit of spookiness to it. At least as a kid, it was creepy at times. But I that's my favorite one. I have to try to fit that in at some point.
Nice. Have any of you guys seen the Guy Ritchie one that came out on TNT 2 or 3 years back?
I saw a bit of it. Parts of it, but
that's like freaking dark and gothic, man. Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh. Okay, so now we're on the topic of movies. Let's talk movies first. Well, just throw whatever in the mix that you want. So it could be like traditional non-geek Christmas movies that you really like. We've already touched on some of those, but then also any like geek movies with a Christmas element that maybe you revisit during the Christmas season now and then. I don't know. Maybe that's just me that does that.
Mm.
Who watches movies? It's all about, stone tablets. Yeah, that's what I'll go with.
What?
I don't know where that was going.
I try to think of the furthest thing removed from TV, and stone tablets is what came to.
I think you had a good joke cooking there. It just needs a little more time.
I'll workshop it. I'll come back to you next year.
So close.
It'll be great.
I used to consider Batman Returns a Christmas movie.
For sure. Yeah, spoilers. That's going to be on my list this week. The main content for next week's show is my top 5 geeky Christmas movies, and that is absolutely going to be on that list. Did you grow up watching that, or like watching it again during the Christmas season, Dan?
Well, it was like one of my favorite movies as a kid, anyway. So
okay.
I would really watch that all year round, but it always was like, well, anything that was just remotely close to Christmas, like, gotta watch that.
Yeah.
So, like any episode of a show, any movie, anything geeky, like the episode of the animated series too, Christmas with the Joker, always a must
Yes.
watch.
Yes.
So that kind of thing would always be on my my schedule, at least when I was younger,
Yep.
when I had more time to actually do that kind of thing.
Yep. When I do my bake-a-thon each year, I have usually a lineup of both movies and Christmas episodes of shows. And Christmas with the Joker, I think, is pretty much every year part of that lineup. But also, have you seen the Christmas episode of the Justice League animated series called Comfort and Joy?
I have that
Man,
episode.
I get the feels every time with Martian Manhunter, and just how sad and haunting that is. And of course, for me, I get the feels there because I bring with me to watching that my knowledge of the character from reading him in comics for years, and just knowing how he lost his family and just how tragic that is, and sort of bring that with me as a subtext to the loneliness he's feeling. And oh man. Yeah. And are there any other like episodes of shows that come to mind that are Christmassy that you have revisited around Christmas time, Dan?
I just probably just the mainstay specials of like Charlie Brown, and I still have the Garfield Christmas on DVD, and
Oh, yeah.
The Grinch and those kinds of things.
My sister loves the Garfield Christmas special. That's her favorite.
Oh yeah, it's classic. But I love that Justice League episode because I know it's subtle and maybe I'm trying to give them too much credit, to like a secular kind of show, but I think it was interesting that Martian Manhunter doesn't really get over his melancholy until he hits the church,
Oh, yeah.
and they're singing like a real carol, a real hymn. I don't remember what it is when he shows up there, but he like pretends to be Santa Claus and does like goofy other stuff while he's
Yeah.
wandering around Smallville, and it's not until he finds the church that he finally like realizes, like the meaning, like without them spelling it out.
Yeah.
I guess it would have been nicer for the audience if they were truly doing a Christmas special to spell it out, like
Yeah.
Charlie Brown style. But I always thought that was so nice that of all things, like a Justice League episode, to have him outside the church on because they could have gone with something else,
Yeah.
leaving the cookies for the girl, or what does he do? He goes in and eats the cookies to make her think that Santa was there. Like that could have been
Yes.
the thing that lights him up. Instead, they had him go to the church after that. I
Yeah.
always thought that was really meaningful.
Yeah. Yeah. And they're singing a Christmas carol, and I'm trying to remember what Christmas carol, if it came upon a midnight clear, or I can't remember which one it was, but
I think it was a real Christmas carol.
Yes.
Biblical one.
I thought it was Little Town of Bethlehem, but I don't
well, I'm going to watch it again, so maybe I'll be able to report back. But yeah, I think that I think I found that just as a believer, I found that like kind of a nice moment. But I don't think I brought as much to it with me as you did. But I think I might now that I've heard you say that. I think that might make it a richer experience for me next time. I also wonder, like, I want to do a second viewing of the entire. Not necessarily to make content, I'm not committing to that, but I want to do like a second viewing of like the Justice League animated series. Now that I know that both the actor that voiced Superman in that series and the actress that voiced Hawkgirl in that animated series are very outspoken Christians.
Oh, really?
Yes. Yeah. When I started on the, the forums are kind of like phasing out. The Discord is certainly way more active, than the forums are. But there was a topic on the forums in the last year, a thread that I and other people would add to as we would kind of like discover or bring to mind prominent actors in Hollywood that are Christians and are like unashamedly Christians, and so it kind of blew my mind. I can't even remember. Oh, it was because I was watching Michael Rosenbaum's show Inside of You, I think it's called.
Inside of Me, I think.
Inside of Me,
No,
okay.
It is Inside of Me. I don't
Yeah, it was one of those, yeah. And that's where it came out, was he did this, because he voiced The Flash, and he did this reunion conversation with the cast members there, and it was in that conversation that both of those actors, it bubbled to the surface, their faith, and so anyway, yeah, I want to, not that they would necessarily have influence over the show at all, especially, being voice actors. They're not going to have the pull, but at the same time, you never know what conversations are being had behind the scenes with between actors and directors and actors and writers. They're talking about their characters, and actors bring their passion and their worldview and their perspective to their performances and to their job. And I wouldn't be surprised if that bubbled up at various points when they're conversing about the characters they're playing with the creative team. Maybe in particular Superman as such a virtuous character that maybe that I just wish I could be a fly on the wall, and I wonder how his faith did or did not come to the surface in conversations that may have shaped a few moments in ways we're unaware of, in Justice League. So I thanks for bringing that up, Dan. That reminds me that I do want to give those another watch, and maybe with Asher, because he enjoyed watching the animated movies with me this year. Maybe he would be interested in doing a watch through of that series. Anyway. Yeah, great picks. Okay, so someone else, shows or movies that are nerdy or not that are Christmassy that you like.
Well, I don't have a hard list that I come back to every single year, but we definitely watch Christmas stuff. Always liked Home Alone. That's kind of a classic.
Yep, for sure.
My son was desperately waiting for the 1st of December, so he could watch Krampus again.
Oh, I haven't seen that. Is that good?
Yeah, it is good. I bought it to watch with him last year.
Okay, I'm gonna make it.
And yeah, he absolutely refused to watch it before the 1st of December.
Yeah.
but the minute it hit, he got home from school and was like, right, I'm watching Krampus.
Okay,
that was kind of amusing.
I am definitely making a note of that. Is it just called Krampus? Because I feel like there's been a couple of horror movies that had Krampus in the title.
Let's have a look.
Because I'll bet Titus would watch it, because it's a horror movie, right?
Yeah.
So I'll bet Titus would totally be on board for watching that.
2015. Yeah, this looks like it.
Okay.
Yeah, so it is just called Krampus.
Okay, cool. Yeah, nice. Okay, I will definitely have to make it. Yeah,
And it's
remember
got,
that.
Tony Collette in it.
Oh, really?
Exports.
Oh, that's right. She is Australian, isn't she? Or is she New Zealand?
Yes.
I keep forgetting because she so rarely uses her kind of native accent, but she is such. Oh, you've totally sold me on watching this now. She is such a. Oh, she is riveting to watch. I don't know how you feel about her, but I just like. Oh, there's something about her. I just love. My eyes just lock on her, and just about anything she does. Yeah. I'm so fascinated to watch her, and that elevates this movie immediately in my mind. Nice. Oh, cool. I thought you were gonna. For some reason, I thought you were gonna mention Doctor Who, but maybe you're not as much of a.
Oh yes. I forgot. I was thinking about that earlier, actually. Yeah. So, a bit of a tradition to watch. It comes out on Boxing Day for us, just because of time zones. Yeah, but that's a bit of a Christmas. There hasn't been a Christmas special for quite a few, 4 or 5 years. So this is the first Christmas special we'll have had in quite a long time.
Oh, and it's that's right, and it's it's on Disney, and it's a mini series, isn't it?
So they're actually doing the 60th anniversary special at the moment, which is 3 episodes.
Okay.
So the 3rd episode releases about 5:30 a.m. tomorrow for us.
Okay.
So we'll probably come home from church and watch it. And that's going to end, we believe, with a regeneration, and then the Christmas special is the first story with the new Doctor.
Oh, wow. Is that a tradition, that they do that, or... No.
No, they do it whenever the actor wants to move on, basically.
Okay, yeah. Now, have they have they said who the new Doctor is going to be?
Yeah, he's a guy named Shuti Gatwa. He's kind of British African.
Oh, okay. And he's replacing the first female Doctor? Is that where we're at right now?
Yes, well, they actually brought David Tennant back
That's right.
this 3-episode special.
That's right.
So he's playing a new regeneration with the same face,
Okay.
essentially.
Yes. Nice. Man, I'm so jealous of people who are into Doctor Who. Maybe I should give it another try. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, we did a rewatch from the beginning of the modern era recently, and there's definitely stuff in there that you would like. You gave before a two-parter that you would not have liked. um, yeah, I mean, there is certainly some good stuff in there. There's some emotional stuff. There's also some ridiculous stuff.
What would be a jumping on point in the modern era that doesn't start with the first Doctor and the thing with the mannequins that come to life? That's a ways after that. That's still a good jumping on point.
There's no. I mean, David Tennant's first story, which actually was a Christmas special, could be a good starting off point because it's kind of a reintroduction.
Okay.
There's some characters that carry over from before, but that could be a reasonable starting point.
Okay, cool.
The beginning of Matt Smith could also be a starting point.
Okay. Yeah, I feel like at this point, it's kind of like getting into comic books. I mean, Doctor Who's been around for so long. It's like where do you start to know what's going on? That's not how it works.
Exactly.
You start, and little by little, you figure out what's going on, and you learn the world and the history.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. All right. Maybe I'll give that a go. Let's see, Francisco. I don't know if we've heard from you on the topic of nerdy or non-nerdy movies and shows with Christmassy stuff.
Yeah, I've been sort of trying to think of any that I traditionally will watch, but I don't think there's really any that come to mind. I usually like to watch either The Thing or The Gray around this time of year.
Really?
I haven't got a chance to watch either of those. Yeah, just because they're wintry.
Yes.
Wintry now. But yeah, they're not Christmas at all. I don't know. I'm. Oh no. Okay, that's what I want to watch. Oh, thank you. Thank you for having this conversation.
Yeah. All right. What is it?
That The Green Knight. I know you and I had this conversation about that a while ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, I haven't seen it since I first saw it, and it's very much a Christmas movie.
Yes.
So I would like to watch that on Christmas or around Christmas.
For sure. Oh, nice pick. Nice pick. And The Thing, let's see, I can't remember if I've made it an annual thing or not, but I think I tried to, either last year or the year before, start a thing in January, where it's like, okay, I want to start a tradition that I can look forward to that's after the Christmas season, after we've put the decorations away. I'm always looking for, like, what can I do to jazz up my January? Because it sucks being done with Christmas and getting back into the normal routine and realizing, oh, yeah, I'm 1 year older, 1 year closer to dying, you know? But yeah, that's when I kind of look for non-Christmas wintry stuff, is January. What was the other one? Oh, The Gray. That's the Liam Neeson movie?
Like he's attacked by wolves in that or something.
Sorry, I have family members talking to me right now. So
that's all right.
I'll be right back.
That's all right. Yeah, I think it is. Which also reminds me, I saw an ad recently, and I was like, that Liam Neeson was like promoting this. I don't know what it was. I didn't stop because I was trying to watch a different video, but I did watch the entire ad because I was like, what is this? I don't know if Liam Neeson is Catholic or some other strand of Christian, but like he was kind of promoting this project that he's a part of that's very like meditative and intended to be spiritual, and talking about, he talked about our faith and the holiday season and our faith, and I'm like, okay, well, he's saying our faith and holiday season, so that smells at least Catholic. I don't know what he's got going on, but it just made me very curious. Do you guys know anything in particular about where Liam Neeson is at?
I don't. I have a fun fact that I just learned.
His Wikipedia.
What was that?
Oh, I just said that his Wikipedia.
You're breaking up, Adam. Sorry.
I will say, not Liam Neeson, but this is a silly sort of connection. But so we covered Tremors on the podcast this past week. And the director of that is Ron Underwood. I'm like, Underwood, that sounds familiar. And so I looked it up, and I was thinking of an actor named Jay Underwood, who is in some John Hughes movies. He's The Boy Who Could Fly, that actor.
Oh.
And I learned that he actually became a pastor. I had no idea. I'm like,
What?
oh, that's a cool turn that he's
Wow.
a pastor now of a church. So I was like, oh, wow. But I still don't know about Liam Neeson, though.
Wow. Oh, that is interesting. That is interesting.
I remember seeing that ad too, but I didn't pay that much attention to it. I think it might have been some sort of praying meditation app or something like that.
That's
running something for Christmas season. I don't know.
Yeah, that sounds about right. And you never know, even with things like that, how much of this is a product he's selling and how much of this is something he really cares about and believes in. But at the very least, it just so piqued my curiosity. So I'll just be interested to see what more we might glean. He lost his wife a number of years ago, and so I've just thought about him a number of times and just the tragedy of that situation. And it would be wonderful to know that he has hope in Christ of seeing his wife again. I have no idea what their situation was, but really sad. Okay, so we covered. Yeah, go ahead, Adam.
It says on Wikipedia that he grew up Catholic.
Okay.
Whether he has an actual personal faith or not.
Yeah.
I mean, he's Irish, so that is very much the national religion of Ireland, I guess.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so that's all it says.
Okay. Interesting. Okay. So we've covered. I know the next thing I wanted to ask. We're all adults, and if we, set aside a little bit of money, we can mostly get the things that we're interested in getting. But having said that, is there anything on your Christmas wish list? I don't even know if you guys do wish lists. Some people don't. Our family does. But is there anything on your wish list or anything on your metaphorical wish list that you're wondering or hoping if you might get this Christmas?
Well, the Babylon 5 Blu-rays have just released. So I actually, from the UK, because they're not releasing here, and I just said to Linda, you can wrap this up for me. That can be my Christmas present.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited for that.
Nice.
It may not be here quite in time. Here soon after. I think it says before the 29th of December. But there's a From and To range. I think the From was just before Christmas, so maybe.
You said I think I'm having deja vu. Like you mentioned this on the Discord text channel at some point, and you were kind of surprised that this day came where this thing was being made. Is it something about the production itself, like it has some remastered elements or something that are surprising you, or what's surprising you about it?
So, doing the B5 shawarma, if you remember in my last episode, I talked about how it was the live action stuff was shot in widescreen, but all the effects were done in Y3.
Okay.
And when they released it on DVD, they did it really on the cheap. And because widescreen DVDs were all the rage at the time, they wanted to release it in widescreen, so they stretched effect shots from 4:3 out to 16:9, which included any shots that had live action components and CG components in the background.
Oh boy,
they were also stretched. And looking at it on modern TV, it looks super pixelated, like a early 90s computer game.
Yeah.
It's just horrendous. Meant that a show this good deserves to look better than this because it looks so bad on the DVDs. And hope that there would ever be a remaster or a Blu-ray or anything because Warner Brothers considered it a dead franchise, had zero interest in doing anything with it or selling it. And JMS has revealed in recent years that that was all because of one person. And when he retired, suddenly the gates opened up again to possibilities. And so they remastered it a few years ago. I think they went back to film for the live action components. And for the CG stuff, they did like an AI upscale.
Oh, cool.
So it doesn't look as like you got some fan renders out there where they've managed to get hold of the original 3D models and they've actually re-rendered it in 1080p and it looks absolutely amazing. It's not as good as that, but from what I hear, it's the best the show has ever looked. But that was never released for streaming or any other way in Australia.
Oh, okay.
So the Blu-rays, even though they haven't released the Blu-rays in Australia, because it's region free, I can order it from the UK. So
nice.
This is the first time people in my country are going to get to see this. So I'm very excited.
The era of region free. It's beautiful.
Yes.
Francisco or Dan?
Well, my wife, my wonderful wife, got me my for my birthday, which will probably count as also Christmas because it was a large purchase. Got me the Spider-Man 2 limited edition PS5, so I'm pretty happy, and I think that's probably good enough for now. And I finished the game a few weeks ago, and it was amazing. I'll probably just play through that like a couple more times.
Yeah,
while we're in the season.
Do you think before you go through and play it again, you'll clean up like open world activities, or have you done those already too?
I've pretty much done all that except for like the last one that I'm not going to bother doing.
Wow.
On Miles' side of things, I don't want to do that, but yeah, pretty much it's been picked clean. If they want to update it with a new game plus, that would help me out a lot.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
I'm surprised it's not already there in the game, but hopefully they'll add it.
Very cool. Now, getting the PS5, had you had a PS4 prior to that, or was this like like you're entering in really to console gaming here?
No, I did have the PS4.
Okay.
And I hadn't had anything on it new in quite a while. I think the last thing I played on that was the first Spider-Man, and then Red Dead Redemption 2.
Okay.
So this is like the first big modern AAA game I played in a few years.
How long ago did you get your PS5?
Well, I had the original PS4 when it launched. Then I had decided to sell it, which was kind of dumb. And then when they released that, they released like a really cheap bundle on Black Friday when the first Spider-Man came out. So I bought a second PS4 and I got Spider-Man then.
But your PS5. I mean, when did you get your PS5?
Oh, just like late October. I got it a little bit early.
Okay.
For my birthday, but
nice.
It was just this year.
Have you gone through your PS4 titles to see if they had any what do you call those? Like what was the PS4 Pro? Like if any of them are have PS4 Pro enhancements, because the PS5 will automatically take advantage of those if they do.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I know my old library shows up on screen. I haven't really played any of those games again yet.
Okay.
Well, back my mind to go back and revisit them.
Yeah, if you're like trying to figure out what should I play, it's not in the budget to get another game yet, you might find it just an interesting diversion for a little bit to go through your current library of PS4 games and see which ones are PS4 Pro enhanced, because it can kind of, especially if it's like a frame rate boost, those are really nice. So yeah, PS5 is a great console.
Yeah. Yeah, I've got a couple. I don't know. This is a good tip for anybody else on here who wants to try to play something without having to plunk down money for it. Is that our library will stock some games, and I got Star Wars Jedi Survivor, which I haven't actually tried yet, and then that game called Stray. It's like a futuristic cyberpunk game where you play as a cat.
Oh, I didn't know it was cyberpunk. I just knew it was you're playing as a cat, and I wasn't into that. But cyberpunk.
Maybe that's not a great word choice, but it's like a weird futuristic city that this cat finds himself in, and it's like all robot citizens. There seems to be no people, and it's
Oh,
got like lots of neon, and
interesting.
it's rainy, and but that's pretty good to try those out for free from the library rather than plunking down 40, 50, $60.
Cool. Let's see, who have we not heard from yet?
Yeah, I think me. So,
Okay.
For me, actually, Ashley got me my Christmas present pretty early. I think she likes it's hard for her to hold on to presents. She wants to just give them to me right away. And that's fine. But she got me a 30th anniversary sort of collector's edition. I mean, my favorite game is Mega Man X, and there's a company called I think Legacy Cartridge, or I forget what the company is called, but they put out like sort of limited editions of classic games.
Oh, nice.
And so she saw this one, and she's like, "Oh, that's perfect for Francisco." So it comes with like a couple beautiful posters. It's an actual like SNES cart that you can put into an SNES, or a cartridge, and then the instruction manual. I think there's some other stuff in there that I haven't opened it up in a while, but that was my main Christmas present. So
Cool.
I get to look at that every day. It's up on sort of a display shelf right above my computer monitor here. So
Yeah, I was gonna say that sounds like the kind of thing that you find a nice place in your office where you can glance at it.
yes, exactly.
Very cool. Very cool.
I think that company is limited run games. I think.
Here, let me get it and see on.
Yeah, that's
I
the
know
company
that-
I thought of, but maybe there's another one out there that's doing some stuff like
Yeah.
that too.
No, this is I Am 8-Bit.
Oh,
Yeah, I've totally heard of them, but they are they're like sponsors of one or two of the podcasts that I listen to. I think MinMax, I Am 8-Bit is really associated with them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I put a lot of Superman movies, like Blu-rays specifically, on my wish list this year. A lot of which can be acquired pretty cheaply. I mean, not even like the 4K ones, but I mean, like all I have is of the Christopher Reeve movies and the Brandon Routh one are the DVDs. And Flash, that like was enjoyable on a number of levels as a fan. If you've heard my review, you know that I definitely had some problems with the movie too. It wasn't like it certainly was not all I wanted it to be. So I've got some mixed feelings about it, but I enjoyed it enough that I wanted to get it, and it also nods to older DC movies, particularly Michael Keaton's Batman and the Christopher Reeve Superman movies. A much briefer nod for those. But even so, I was like, I think maybe now is the time, because my boys are interested in watching. They've seen the first one, but they're interested in watching, the other Christopher Reeve movies. At least Asher is, eventually getting around to them. And so I thought maybe that could be a cool break activity while I have some time off with the boys to like watch a movie a day and go through the Christopher Reeve Superman movies. But I would want to do that on Blu-ray, and little did I know that, like, in the time that I did not have those movies on my radar, they had restored the extended TV cut of Superman. Now, there was a special edition that came out that had, I don't know, maybe 15 minutes of extra footage. But there was a version that aired on TV that, like, had 45 minutes of extra footage.
Really?
Yeah. And I remember hearing about this in college from some dude that was older than me that had it on VHS or Laserdisc or something at home. And I just assumed we were never going to see that one, like I think most fans did. But evidently, yes. I mean, not evidently, for sure. I did my research. I was like, oh my gosh, this really is the mythical TV cut. Still presented in widescreen, though. And so that'll be my first time seeing that version of Superman the movie. Now, reportedly, it is not a better version of the movie. In fact, arguably, from what I hear, it's a worse version of the movie, and I would totally believe that. I mean, the only reason
How can I lose?
the only reason this thing exists is because the Salkins, the producers, they realized that they could charge more for companies to air Superman on their network if they charged them based on the length of the movie. And so
Wow.
to prepare for its TV broadcast, and it was only, I think, the very first broadcast that they did this. But to prepare for that, they cobbled together this extended cut that used everything they could reasonably throw into that movie. And so I really don't know what I'm in for. I've heard a couple things here and there, but I haven't heard 30 minutes worth of content that I haven't seen yet. So I really don't know how I'm going to feel about this. But I'm looking forward to watching that. And I already got the Michael Keaton Batman movies on Blu-ray just myself, just to kind of watch those. And so I've watched most of those first two movies, and I even have Supergirl on my wish list, which last time I watched that a few years ago, I was like, ugh, I do not like this. I guess now that I'm no longer a teenage boy, and like infatuated with Supergirl, I'm just thinking, ugh, this is really not what I want. But I even put that on my list. I'm just going to I think enjoy as a project revisiting Superman film history with my boys, maybe if they want to tag along, and kind of that be a lead up to watching The Flash. So I think that's kind of like my main plan. Although now I just got like a $15 gift card for Xbox from a extended family member, because we did like a Secret Santa thing. And I'm pretty sure I'm going to spend that on DLC for Dragon Age 2. Because doing this stream for Dragon Age Origins last weekend, it just reminded me, yes, I do love this game, and yes, I do want to do a complete playthrough of this series before the new one comes out. And I really want to give Dragon Age 2 another try. I think I might enjoy it more with my expectations in check the second time through. So maybe I'll be doing some of that during the break too. Is there any kind of like break, activities or that you guys are looking forward to? What is an ideal? Because who knows if any of these plans of ours will pan out. We can always dream of time off and what that'll look like, but who knows how it'll actually play out. What would be some ideal time off for each of you guys coming up here?
Good question. I feel like my ideal time off is time that I could devote to, like the podcast or the card game I'm working on.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of those involve needing other people also, so it's like I would need other people to also have time off. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, my wife says I don't Sabbath very well, and I think that's evident by what I just said.
I would just take one day of being able to dive into do some more marathon gaming instead of just nabbing a little bit of time here and there.
Oh yeah.
Especially if I'm renting something where I have to return it and I don't have to keep checking it out numerous times.
Yeah.
If I just want to be able to get through it in one sitting, a game that I'm probably not going to want to add to my collection anyway, it'd be nice to just knock off some of these stuff that sits on your back burner.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll get to that. I'll play that. I'll watch that at some point. There's always a long list of stuff that I'd like to revisit. I got Jurassic Park on 4K on Black Friday actually on Amazon.
Ooh.
And I only put that on for a split second to see how it looked, but I haven't watched it all the way through yet. So that's an example of something. It's I don't know if I'm gonna. I bought the Blu-ray or the 4K because I wanted to see it in 4K. But think how many times am I gonna make time, sit down, and watch something that I've seen a million times already, and yet here we are.
Yep.
Oh
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to having time to read some books and play some computer game or video games. And And if the insurance company actually decides to approve our claim and give us some money, which would be amazingly awesome, and we are able to get a new car, we're hoping to go on some little, not a big holiday, but just some little road trips, day trips, or like overnights. Possibly even being brave and staying in a tent because it's cheap.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, because the vehicle we were looking at getting will have enough boot space that we could actually pack up some stuff and go off for an adventure.
Nice.
I guess the nerdy aspect of that is we'd be making vlogs about our travels.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's kind of the hope, but yeah, it all comes down to whether the insurance company are going to be nice to us or not.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if I've mentioned this amongst the community or not, but so in addition to wanting to buy a new car with the money we would get for the insurance for the old one, we also have to pay for the power pole that my wife crashed into.
Oh.
Now that power pole
my God.
costs more than the car we're looking at buying.
Oh my gosh.
So
Wow.
if we don't get the insurance payout, instead of taking out a loan for the new car with the insurance money as a deposit, we would instead be taking out a loan for the power pole
Oh.
Wow.
and then still not have a car. So I'm really hoping it goes the better way.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to make a note to pray for you about that. That's
Yeah, absolutely.
That's
Same here.
whew, boy.
How does that work? That I don't know. I mean, I don't know how that would work, but that's unfortunate.
When will you
Yeah.
when will you kind of know one way or the other, Adam?
Well, that's the thing. We don't even know that.
Oh.
So they're conducting an investigation. So they had an interview with my wife, and then they asked us to send all this paperwork and stuff, and they want an itemized list of phone calls to prove that Linda was not on a phone at the time of the accident.
Oh.
But the way phone bills work these days with a new plan is that it's just a direct debit out of your bank account. There is no bill. There's nothing to download. So she's had to ask the phone company if they can provide something, which they said, oh yeah, we'll get you something in 5 business days. So that's been, I don't know, well over a week, maybe almost 2 weeks at this point.
Ugh.
And yeah, once we send that off, who knows what next they're going to ask for it. It very much feels like we're on trial, but it's guilty until proven innocent, and we don't have a lawyer.
Oh, man. That's terrible, man. I'm so sorry.
Insurance companies don't like to pay money, but they'll happily take it.
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
It feels like a very one-sided relationship. Like most business relationships are more even than this, and the customer is always right. Not in this case.
Yeah. Well, insurance ads are all about like, hey, we'll be here when you need us. That's why, that's why they're offering their services is to give you peace of mind. But then when the moment comes, if, they're doing everything they can to not help you out. It's like, what the crap? Ugh.
Yeah, there is no peace of mind. It feels like I'm waiting to either we're going to get this cool new car or our life will be destroyed.
Oh, jeez.
And I know, with faith in God, He will take care of us no matter what. But that's kind of what it feels like in my in my lower moments.
For sure. Yes. Yeah. Man. Well, let me actually pray for you right now, Adam. Lord, I thank you so much for Adam and just the man that you've shaped him into and that you are continuing to shape him into. I thank you for his wife, his family, and that they know you and that they are endeavoring to live in step with you, Spirit. And I pray that you would give them comfort that does not come from knowing how everything's going to work out, but comfort from knowing that you are good and that you love them and that they are seen, that you are not distant in this time. Would you bring reminders into their life and little indications in your word through your people? Would you show them that you see them, that you love them, and that you are going to be able to bring them through any and all circumstances. Would you show them the way of escape that you promised so that we don't need to give in to despair? Would you show yourself to be good? And would you actually glorify yourself, Lord? Would you put a spotlight on yourself so that not only Adam and his family see that you're good, but that others around them see that you are good, that you are loving? Please glorify yourself in this situation and give them comfort as they wait for that. In your name we pray, Jesus. Amen.
Amen.
And thank you.
Yeah, sure. Well, this has been great, guys. As always, it flies by, but I'm glad that I got to connect with you guys, and hope you have just a wonderful, meaningful Christmas season, that you are able to spend some time with people that love you and that you love, and that you have some quiet moments with the Lord that are meaningful and refreshing to you. And thank you again so much for your support, guys. It really, really means a lot to me.
No problem, of course.
Yeah, our pleasure.
All right. Well, Merry Christmas again, and Happy New Year as well. And
You too.
we'll talk to you again when we can.